All right, this guy was a school teacher. He got accused of sexual harassment by one of his students. Let's find out what happened. Hi.
Hi.
I'm Mike Corbin with Raw Deal.
Oh, glad to meet you.
Is Mr. Marlin in?
Sure, come on in.
Come on. So, Mr. Marlin, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I played football at the Naval Academy with somebody that you may have heard about, Roger Staubach. And he was my roommate at the Naval Academy, and we graduated in '65, and then I stayed there and coached football, and then I went to Vietnam.
So you were roommates with Roger Staubach?
Captain of the Navy football team the year that he graduated.
Oh, great.
So he and I go back a long ways. I still talk to him once in a while.
So what did you do after the academy?
Well, after I graduated from the academy, I went to Supply Corps school, or I stayed there and coached football for 6 months, and then I went to Supply Corps school for 6 months. And then Roger and I both went over to Vietnam, okay, in Da Nang.
Oh, so you were in the military?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was in the military for about 24 years total, 28 years counting the 4 years at the Naval Academy.
So what do you do now?
Well, in 1986, I retired from the Navy, and I became a school teacher. I did two other things before then, but then I decided that making money, making a lot of money, wasn't the real thing that had me going. So I decided to go ahead and teach, and with the okay from my wife, okay, to do it. And she's the one that really pushed me, and I've been teaching for about 17 years right now.
So you submitted your story. Let's hear your raw deal.
Well, this happened about 9 or 10 years ago. It's hard to even put it down right now. But I was teaching algebra to a class, and I had one girl who was, she was fairly good looking, but she was sitting in the middle of the class, and she wasn't passing. And this was right about 3/4 of the way through the class. And so she wanted out, and I really didn't care if she stayed in; she wasn't going to pass. And so I said, "Well, go see your counselor." So we went to see the counselor, and the counselor said, "No, she could get out right now because there was no other course to put her into at that time." So it said it was too late to put her in there. So I guess it was about 3 weeks later, I got this call from one of the principals, and he said, "I've got something distressing to talk to you about." And I said, "Well, I don't understand. What is it?" He said, "Well, can you come to my office?" During my free period, I went to his office, and here the girl had made a complaint against me, saying that I had touched her breast, okay, in class. So I went down, and he read what she said, that I had touched her breast, and I was always leaning over her and talking to her and, coming on to her. And she wanted out of my class. I had, some things to do with it, so I made a statement, okay, and I made a statement in the thing, and I told the guy that this was all.
So you had to write a letter?
So then I found out that she got into the class, okay, because they took her out of my class immediately and put her in the class where she wanted to go to. The class she wanted to go to was one that her boyfriend was in, okay, and she didn't care if she failed or not. She just wanted to be with her boyfriend. And so I made some comment to the guy about that. He said, "Sorry," I said, "I can't do anything about that because you already written a thing." So I decided to let it go. Okay. In the meantime, I heard from one of my other teacher friends. He and I were coaching together, and he had the same girl in his class. And she had mentioned to him, okay, or mentioned to somebody in the class, and he overheard it. That she really got Mr. Marlin for not letting her go to the other classroom.
Did the police come down, or did they have an investigation or anything like that?
The only record was within the school district, okay? And I thought that the statement that I made cleared everything up. So about 2 years later, okay, a thing came out that they were advertising a new job in the district. And I was very, very qualified for the job. As a matter of fact, I was the only one that had the education, okay, for the job, and also had the same type of work, doing the same type of work that they wanted done. And the thing was, is they were paying me about twice as much, okay, they're paying this job about twice as much as what I was making at the time.
So that would have been a nice raise.
It would have been a nice raise, so I had applied for the job and I put my thing, and I never got an invitation to interview for the job. And I couldn't imagine, okay, since I was the most qualified that they had anywhere, okay, that I did get an invitation to interview for the job. So I went down and I saw this one girl in the personnel department, and I said, hey, why didn't I get an invitation to apply for this job, to interview for this job? And she said, well, I don't know, you know, just, and she kind of hesitated. I said, there's something you know that you're not saying, okay? I look on her face and the way she hesitated and everything, and I said, what is it? And she said, well, she said, you have 2 files, okay, in the county there. And one file is a file that anybody can look at any time. There's another file that they have that is a closed file, okay? And that was, you know, the first file first, and then it turned into the second file.
Right.
So it's a closed file. And when you go to interview for a job or anything like that, they look at those 2 files. Well, that file had in it, okay, about this girl making the claim, okay, that I touched her breast. Now, nothing was done. Nothing was done at all.
Wow.
And I said, I wanted to put something in the record showing that that was a false claim. And they said, you can't put anything in a closed record.
Wow. That was definitely a raw deal. Well, thank you for your story, Mr. Marlin. Who knows? Maybe you'll be the next $1,000 winner. The next